You ever heard of a love story so intense it turns into a murder? Yeah, I know, sounds crazy, but this one's not just a story. It's Shakespeare's Othello, a man who loved so deeply, trusted so blindly, that one lie was enough to destroy everything. What's wild is this isn't some over the top soap opera. It's one of the most powerful plays ever written. And it still feels terrifyingly real. Because if you have ever seen how jealousy, rumors, or manipulation can ruin relationships, Othello is basically that, turned into pure tragedy. And wait till you meet Iago, the guy who pulls every string in this story. Once you understand how he manipulates everyone around him, you will understand, you will start spotting people like him in real life too. So, let's dive into this dark, brilliant world of love, trust, and betrayal, and see how one of the greatest minds in history turned human emotion into one of the most unforgettable stories ever written. You know, when every time we talk about Shakespeare, people usually think of Romeo and Juliet, love, passion, and heartbreak. But Othello, that's a whole different level. It's not just a story gone wrong. It's not just a love story gone wrong. It's one of Shakespeare's darkest tragedies. A slow, painful fall from love to jealousy, from trust to betrayal. Shakespeare wrote Othello around the year 1603, during the same creative period when he was crafting masterpieces like Hamlet, Macbeth, and King Lear. These weren't just plays, they were deep dives into the human mind. Othello stands out among them because it explores something deeply personal and disturbingly real. How a single lie can destroy even a strongest love. At its core, this play is built on four powerful themes: love, jealousy, race, and manipulation. It tells the story of a respected general, a man admired by everyone, but seen as an outsider because of his skin color. And when a jealous mind decides to poison that man's heart with doubt, everything begins to fall apart. And honestly, what makes Othello hit so hard even today is how real it feels. We might not be soldiers in Venice, but think about it. Rumors, misunderstandings, manipulation, they still destroy friendships, relationships, and trust every single day. One message, one rumor, one "I heard she did this," and suddenly everything changes. That's the modern face of Othello's tragedy. So as we dive in, keep this in mind, Othello isn't just a 400-year-old story. It's a mirror showing how fragile love and trust can be when jealousy starts whispering lies in our ears. Alright, before we dive into the actual story, let's meet the people who make this tragedy. What it is, the ones who will love, lie, and lose everything in the end. First up, Othello, our main character. He's a Moor, which means he's a North African man serving as a general in the Venetian army, brave, respected, and known for his military skill. He is the kind of man everyone admires on the battlefield, but off the battlefield, he is more vulnerable than he's seen. Othello is deeply emotional, honest to a fault, and maybe a little too trusting. And that trust is exactly what will destroy him later. Then there's Desdemona, Othello's wife. She's young, gentle, and full of love. She chooses Othello against her father's wishes, proving she is not just sweet, she is brave. Desdemona's love is pure. She believes in Othello completely, but her innocence, unfortunately becomes her weakness in a world ruled by suspicion and deceit. Now let's talk about Iago. The name itself has become a symbol of manipulation. On the surface, he is Othello's trusted ensign, basically his right-hand man. But inside, he is bitter, jealous, and absolutely ruthless. He feels cheated because Othello promoted someone else, and from that moment he decides to destroy Othello's life piece by piece, using lies sharper than any sword. Speaking of that promotion, here's the man who got it, Cassio. His Othello's new lieutenant, handsome, polite, and good-hearted, but honestly a bit naive. Cassio has no idea he's walking straight into Iago's trap. He's loyal to Othello, but his friendliness with Desdemona will soon be twisted into something much darker. And finally, Emilia, Iago's wife and Desdemona's maid. She's often overlooked at the beginning, but trust me, she'll play a huge role later. Emilia is blunt, honest, and practical, someone who sees things others miss. And when the truth finally comes out, she'll be the one brave enough to speak it, even when it costs her everything. 5 people whose fate are tied together in one of the most powerful tragedies ever written. Our story begins in Venice, a city of elegance, politics, and power, where everyone's reputation means everything. Imagine grand canals reflecting the moonlight, nobles whispering in marble halls, and soldiers preparing for war. It's here that Othello, the great general, secretly marries Desdemona, a senator's daughter, and from that very moment, whispers begin to spread. But the calm of Venice doesn't last long. The Venetian government suddenly faces a threat. The Turkish army is advancing towards Cyprus, a small island that holds huge military importance. So, Othello, being the trusted general, is sent to lead the defense. Desdemona insists on going with him because where he goes, she goes. And with that, the story moves from the disciplined order of Venice to the raw, stormy uncertainty of Cyprus. The transition isn't just about geography, it's symbolic. Venice represents control, rules, and reputation. Cyprus, isolated and surrounded by turbulent seas, represents emotion, chaos, and vulnerability. This ship sets the perfect stage for what's coming, because in Cyprus there's no senate, no watchful eyes or society. There's only Othello, Desdemona, and Iago, and it's there that love begins to crumble, jealousy begins to rise, and tragedy starts to take shape. Let's break the story down act by act. The story begins in the quiet, shadowy streets of Venice. While the city sleeps, something scandalous has already happened. Othello, the Moorish general, has secretly married Desdemona, the daughter of powerful Venetian senator. Their love is genuine, pure, strong, and built on respect. But in the eyes of Venetian society, their marriage is shocking. Othello is admired as a warrior, yes, but still seen as an outsider. When Desdemona's father, Barbancio, finds out, he's furious. He accuses Othello of using witchcraft to win his daughter's heart. But when Othello stands before the Duke and calmly explains that Desdemona fell in love with his stories, his courage, his life of battles and adventures, even the Duke is moved. Desdemona herself confirms it. Their love, for now, seems unbreakable. But in the shadows, another story is brewing. Iago, Othello's ensign, his supported friend, burns with jealousy. Why? Because Othello chose Cassio, a young, charming officer, to be his lieutenant instead of him. That one decision lights a fire inside Iago, and he decides that if he can't rise by merit, he'll rise by manipulation. As everyone prepares for war against the Turks, Iago quietly prepares for his own war against Othello, and his weapon? Lies. The scene shifts from Venice to the windy shores of Cyprus. A violent storm rages, destroying the Turkish fleet. The war is over before it ever began. Everyone rejoices. Othello and Desdemona reunite, full of love and relief. For a moment, everything feels perfect. But Iago, he never rests. He smiles, congratulates everyone, plays the loyal soldier. But behind that smile, he's already setting his plan into motion. He whispers to Cassio, encourages him to celebrate, offers him a drink, even though Cassio can't hold his liquor. Soon, Cassio is drunk, angry, and pulled into a fight. When Othello hears the commotion, he's furious and strips Cassio of his position. And right there, Iago takes his first big step. He pretends to comfort Cassio, saying, "Go, talk to Desdemona. Maybe she can convince Othello to forgive you." Sounds innocent, right? But that's exactly what Iago wants. For Desdemona to speak kindly of Cassio in front of Othello. Because when she does, it will look like something else entirely. Everything looks peaceful. Love restored, war over, but in truth, the storm has just shifted from the sea to Othello's heart. Now comes the turning point, the act that defines Othello. Desdemona, pure-hearted and loyal, keeps pleading Cassio's case to Othello. She just wants to help. But Iago, the master manipulator, uses every word she says as poison. Gently, carefully, he begins to plant doubt in Othello's mind. He says things like, "Did Cassio know of your love from the start? Or, men should be what they seem." Simple sentences, but layered with suggestion. And when Othello asks him that what he means, Iago replies with one of the most famous lines in literature. "Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on." And just like that, Othello begins to change. The symbol of their love, a delicate handkerchief, Othello's first gift to Desdemona, becomes the heart of Iago's plan. When Desdemona accidentally drops it, Iago's wife Emilia picks it up and Iago snatches it from her, saying he needs it for something special. That something special is destruction. He plants the handkerchief in Cassio's room as false proof of an affair. Later he tells Othello, "I've seen Cassio with your handkerchief." That's all Othello needs to hear. The seed of jealousy, once planted, now grows uncontrollably. By now, Othello is no longer the calm, noble general we meet in Venice. His love has turned to suspicion, and suspicion into rage. Iago pushes him further, staging a fake conversation with Cassio. Othello watches from a distance as Cassio laughs and jokes, but what he doesn't know is that Cassio is talking about Bianca, another woman, not Desdemona. Iago, of course, makes it seems like Cassio is mocking Othello behind his back. Othello's mind cracks. In a fit of blind fury, he strikes Desdemona in public, shocking everyone. She confused, heartbroken, but still loves him. And that's the most tragic part. Her innocence never fades, even as Othello loses his. Iago now stands at the center of chaos, controlling everyone like pieces on a chessboard. He's got what he wanted: power, revenge, and satisfaction of watching Othello fall apart from the inside. The final act unfolds like a nightmare. It's late at night. Desdemona lies in her bed, waiting for Othello, unaware of the horror that's about to come. Othello enters, his heart heavily with jealousy, but twisted by false convictions. He kisses her one last time, whispers that he must kill her for her own good, and smoothes her to death, all while she pleads for her life and declares her innocence. Moments later, Emilia walks in, and everything unravels. She reveals that Iago took that handkerchief, that Desdemona was faithful all along. The truth hits Othello like lightning. Realizing what he's done, Othello confronts Iago, wounds him, but doesn't kill him, saying Iago deserves to live and suffer. Then, in utter despair, Othello turns the sword on himself. His final words were heartbreaking. Then must you speak of one that loved not wisely, but too well. He falls beside Desdemona's body, the woman he loved, the woman he killed, the woman he never stopped believing in, even too late. And just like that, the story ends. Not with a bang, but with silence. A silence that holds all the pain, the lies, and the tragedy that jealousy can create. At its heart, Othello isn't just a story about a man who gets jealousy. It's a deep exploration of human emotions and the dark corners of the mind. Shakespeare doesn't just tell a tragedy. He dissects why people fall into it. Let's look at the major themes that make Othello one of the most psychologically complex plays ever written. Jealousy, the green-eyed monster. Jealousy is the driving force of Othello. Shakespeare even brings it a face through Iago's word. Oh, beware, my lord of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. It's a perfect image. Jealousy destroys the person who feels it. Othello starts as noble, calm, and deeply in love. But once Iago plants the seed of doubt, jealousy takes over his mind like a disease. What's powerful is that Shakespeare shows how jealousy doesn't need proof. It just needs fear. Even today we see this same pattern. A rumor, a text message, or an Instagram comment can trigger suspicion and spiral into chaos. It's the same green-eyed monster, just living in the digital age. Trust and betrayal. Othello's tragedy also lies in misplaced trust. He trusts Iago, the wrong person, completely, while doubting Desdemona, the one person who truly loves him. This contrast makes the story painfully ironic. Iago never forces Othello to do anything. He just whispers, hints, and lets Othello destroy himself. That's what makes the betrayal so chilling. It's psychological. In real life too, betrayal rarely comes with a warning. It often comes disguised as advice, as concern, or as a friend's honest opinion. Shakespeare shows how even the strongest minds can be undone by the smallest seed of deceit. Race and outsider identity. Othello's identity as a Moor, a man of African descent in a white society, adds another layer to the tragedy. From the very beginning, characters use racial slurs against him. Even though he is respected as a general, he is never fully accepted. Shakespeare shows how Othello's status is fragile, built on performance and reputation rather than true belonging. When Iago manipulates him, it's easier for Othello to believe he is being mocked or betrayed, because deep down he already feels like an outsider. This theme still resonates today. Whether it's race, class, or social background, people often face insecurity about fitting in. Othello's tragedy reminds us how deeply prejudice and self-doubt can wound the human spirit. Manipulation and the power of words. Iago is one of the most dangerous villains in literature because he doesn't use violence. He uses language. Every word he says is calculated. He never lies outright. He lets others assume. When he says, "I'm not what I am," he sums up the entire theme of the play. Appearance versus reality. Nothing is what it seems. This theme feels incredibly modern. Think of social media, where appearance rules. People edit, filter, and perform, while reality stays hidden. Iago would have thrived in a world like that. His manipulation reminds us how words and even silence can destroy trust. Appearance versus reality. Throughout the play, everything looks one way but means another. Othello looks noble but becomes irrational. Desdemona appears guilty but is innocent. Iago seems loyal but is utterly corrupt. This tension between what seems true and what is the true forms the core of the tragedy, and it's what makes the story timeless. Because even today we struggle to see through appearances. We judge people by what we see, not what we know. In the end, Othello is about how love can turn to destruction when poisoned by lies and insecurity. It's about the fragility of trust, the danger of manipulation, and the human tendency to believe what we fear. Shakespeare might have written this in the early 1600s, but the emotions still feel painfully familiar. Whether it's jealousy in relationship, gossip in workplaces, or betrayal among friends, the same themes keep replaying in our modern world. Othello reminds us of one simple truth. Sometimes the real war isn't fought with swords or armies, but with words, trust in the mind itself. And that's the story of Othello, one of the most powerful tragedies ever written. A story that starts with love and ends with heartbreak, but leaves behind lessons that still hit home centuries later. If this breakdown helped you see Othello in new light, then you'll absolutely love my Hamlet Explained video. Another masterpiece by Shakespeare packed with revenge madness and some of the most haunting lines ever written. So check it out in my channel. Or if you want to explore how ambition can destroy even the strongest soul, check out Macbeth video. I would love to hear what you think. Do you sympathize with Othello or do you believe he went too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, share and subscribe. Because we have got plenty more timeless stories, literary breakdowns coming your way. See you in the next one, where we turn another classic into something unforgettable.